Hey y'all, it's your host Tori Kruse. Welcome to Talk Y'all to Me, your red carpet insider, your friend behind the mic, and the girl behind the scenes connecting fans, artists, and stories that matter. Most of all, a lover of real, honest conversations. Here on Talk Y'all to Me, we pull back the curtain with country artists, industry insiders, faith-forward creators, and everyday leaders, talking about what it really takes to show up, lead with heart, and stay true to you. So whether you're figuring it out, think you've already got it figured out, or if you're just here to learn from the best and keep a pulse on the country scene, this is your spot. So lean in, turn it up, and let's talk, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Tori Kruse. Welcome back to Talk Y'all to Me. Today I have a very special guest on with us. He is an exceptional artist, songwriter, and he is a family man, married to his beautiful wife, Taylor, has two beautiful daughters, and he has a couple #1 hits, in case you didn't know. But today we're going to be talking about his 2.0 tour kicking off this Thursday, January 22nd at the Ryman in Nashville, Tennessee. I am so grateful that you're here with us today. Talk Y'all to Me, Brett Young.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? It's so awesome to have you here with us.
Doing great. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Brett, I know you have your tour coming up, and this one is 2.0. Tell everybody what 2.0 represents for you personally and also what fans can expect.
Well, obviously the premise is the album that we put out last year was called 2.0. The reason for that originally was that we had a new version of In Case You Didn't Know that we had snuck onto the backside of the record, that we rewrote the second verse and made it a duet, and I had my friend Hannah McFarlane come sing on it. And so that was kind of the original reason for calling that song 2.0. But when we had to name the record, I thought, I'm in this new stage of life where with young children at home and different responsibilities and kind of different priorities, my focus has shifted. And as a result, I feel like I'm in a better place than I've ever been. And I'm kind of doing things right for what I feel like is the first time in my life. I know a lot of people that as you get older, you do feel like you're kind of forced into a different role a little bit. But I just never expected that it would be one that put me in a place where I was prioritizing the right things. And I just felt like at this point, I'm probably the best version of myself that I've been in terms of just like I said, prioritizing the right things and taking care of myself and kind of being there for my family. So it just felt like not only as a reflection of bringing In Case You Didn't Know back to life in version 2.0, but the version of me that everybody's getting with this record is called 2.0. So if we're going to take that record and put a bunch of that new music into the new tour here in 2026, we thought, why not call that tour 2.0 as well?
I love it. And, fans are already excited for this tour. I mean, no better place to kick it off than the Ryman, right?
Yeah, it's so fun. I've played the Ryman so many times, but I was just talking about this. We've never started a tour in Nashville, period, let alone the Ryman. So, it leaves some pretty big shoes to fill for the rest of the year, that's for sure. But what a fun place to kind of, I'm used to like starting a tour and kissing my family goodbye and then barely seeing them for the next couple months. But it's really cool to actually get to start the tour by bringing them out and having friends and family there and doing it at the mother church. So it should be really fun.
For sure. Now, you talk about your family all the time. You're a huge family man. How has becoming a husband and a father really influenced your music?
I think for me, maybe more than most, because I'm so kind of governed by what I'm going through in life at the time when I write my music. So for me, it's influenced the music a ton, but it's also forced me to step outside my comfort zone as a writer, because I can't. If I were to just write what I'm living every day, you guys would get a lullaby record, and that isn't what people are looking for. So it's not only like put me in a different place in life and given me new things to write about and new perspectives, but it's also kind of stretched me as a writer, because I can't only write that. So I'm having to put myself into either old situations to still write that heartbreak song for people, or, unfortunately for some writers in town, they are going through heartbreak, and I'm calling them going, hey, can I piggyback on what you're going through and come write a song with you right now? Because I really need that sad song. So it's caused me to kind of step outside my comfort zone as a writer in a good way. But it's also given me new material to write things like Full House for my youngest daughter, and Who I Do It For, that we featured Lady A on, that's about my family. So I think, the best advice I ever got was from my friend Gavin DeGraw many years ago when I first got started. And I didn't really know what he meant at the time, but I really get it now. He said, as you grow as an artist, you need to make sure you're doing two things. With each new project, you're growing enough to grab that new fan, but never so much that you're alienating that first fan. And so that's what we're always trying to do as we evolve, is continue to pull back the curtain a little bit so that they feel like they're continuing to be a part of your life as your life changes, but also sticking to that original DNA. So it's been incredible to have the family influence the project, but also it's pushed me to do even more than that as a writer. And like I said, and write for everybody, even though it might not be what I'm living at the time.
Hey y'all, quick pause for something important. If you're connecting with this conversation, you will love my new book, Unexpected. It's filled with the stories, lessons, and mindset shifts that helped me grow through some of the toughest and, quite frankly, most unexpected seasons of my life. My hope is that it inspires you to keep going even when the path doesn't look the way you imagined. You can get your copy now at torikruse.com. Now, let's jump back into the episode. That's a wise songwriter right there. And your storytelling is just exceptional. And I remember seeing you perform about a decade ago. And so this is kind of a cool full circle moment. And just like seeing your life evolve with your music is really neat to see. And I'm really curious to hear what song on this new 2.0 album is the most unexpected for fans to hear on your tour.
I mean, that's a great question. I think what fans would expect is to hear Rowan's song "Full House," or they would expect to hear "Who I Do It For," because they fans that have been there from the beginning have seen me continue to tell the story. Like I said, pull back the curtain. I think that there are a couple songs, that one being my current single, "Drink With You," and the other one being a song that we have on XM The Highway right now called "You Still Got It." I didn't have to go back and draw from old memories in order to get those songs, and they seem topically like they don't match my life right now, and they don't. But that's because, and for anybody that doesn't know this was a really fun thing I got to do. Those are songs that I wrote 10 years ago, that I've been sitting on and that I've loved ever since I wrote them. But they would have always been competing with another song on a project. And I always knew I loved them so much that I wanted them to have their chance to be their own thing. And so when we recorded this record, I went back and I grabbed "You Still Got It," which was about, ironically, a breakup with my then girlfriend, now wife, or "Drink With You," a song about, it's kind of that song everybody relates to, where you break up with somebody and you say you're never going to call them again, and then you have one alcoholic beverage and all of you can't get your phone out fast enough, But the irony with that song is I wrote that before I quit drinking and gave up booze. So I've got this song about drinking and making bad decisions after 2 years of not having a drink. So there's a couple songs in there that kind of were pleasant surprises, because I needed those songs for people that are going through that, and I wasn't going through that at the time. And I went, hey, but wait, I have those songs, and I got to bring songs to life again that I've been waiting to share with people for a really long time.
How have your habits really changed to become the artist, the husband, the father, the man that you are now?
It just got to a point in this industry, it's everywhere, and it got to a point where it was comfortable. But at a certain point, and I'm aging myself by saying this, but at a certain age, it stops serving you. You stop being able to bounce back from it or control it the way that you used to. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, am I really, there wasn't I don't have a crazy story. I don't, it's not that exciting or that interesting, other than the fact that I went, am I really showing up as the best version of myself every day? And I love John Mayer does an interview about quitting drinking. And he said something about he was in the fifth day of a hangover after Drake's birthday party. And he could hear himself talking to himself going hey, how much of your potential do you want access to? Because if you just want 50%, that's fine. We can keep doing this. But if you want 100%, and he went, no, we don't have to talk about this anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. And that was pretty close to my experience. Everybody's fine, and this is probably fine, but am I really bringing 100% of what I have to offer every single day? And I absolutely wasn't. And so it's been incredible. It's been, I thank God every day that it hasn't been a thing. It's been extremely easy. In fact, life is so much better and more beautiful, with a clear head and without, feeling like I need to lean on that crutch to get into the right headspace to perform or to write a song or anything like that. So it's been probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. And I have no regrets. Like I said, I don't have a crazy story or anything. I just went pro and retired early.
That's a good framework. I like that, especially right here around the new year. There's absolutely dry Januaries going on, but I don't know. They might change that at your tour here coming up. That could be a little bit of an influence.
We'll see. Country music does something to people.
It sure does. That's for sure. Now, tell us, when you're on tour, what's kind of like your routine behind the scenes? Because we as fans always see you out there on stage performing. But when we were off camera, we were talking about how you have how many, like 9-10 hours before you go out on stage and perform and entertain. How are you spending those hours?
It's changed a lot with kids and a family now. I'm pretty intentional about my time on the road. It's like kind of the opposite of what people think, because it's almost like doing jet lag twice a week. My schedule flip-flops from weekend to weekday to weekend to weekday. Because when you're home with kids, they're getting up early, and then when you're out on the road, you're not working until late. And so I try to prioritize sleep and get caught up. I always want to make sure when I come home off the road, I'm not dragging and need a couple days, because I only have a couple days, right? So it's trying to prioritize sleep, and I'll wake up, I'll eat something healthy, I'll go to the gym, I'll go walk straight into sound check after that. And then I have a tiny bit of downtime before we're doing a meet and greet, and then we're walking into showtime. So if I do it right, and sleeping in doesn't look like what it used to. I remember when I was a teenager, sleeping in could mean noon or 1. Sleeping in's like, not, instead of getting up at 7, it's like maybe make it till 8:30 or 9. But yeah, I try to get caught up on sleep on the road. I try to get really good workouts on the road, just in case there's not going to be time to squeeze them in while I'm home. And it just becomes kind of a little bit of a chess game with, using the road for 3 days every weekend to prepare myself to step back into family life. So it's not that exciting. People think that we wake up on buses and we party for 12 hours until we get off stage, and then we pass out and wake up and do it again. It's really a lot more calculated than that at this point.
Now, Brett, what are you most excited for your 2.0 tour?
Oh, we changed the set list. Like I said, we added a lot of songs from the new record, which I'm really excited to play. We were doing a few last year when the record came out. We added a few, but we have a lot more now in the set. We added a couple new covers that we've recently released videos for. That we were doing a Luke Combs cover last year. We got a Morgan Wallen cover and a Justin Bieber cover this year, which are fun. We have an interesting fan base that spans anything from like 11-year-olds all the way to like 70-year-olds. So it'll be fun to give the youngins something fun that they can recognize. And we just added a lot of energy back to the show. We intentionally had stripped last year down to do more of like a storytelling experience for people, which I've always wanted to do. And it was great. But I feel like trying to do that 2 years in a row wouldn't be fair to the country fans that, like you said, want to come have a beverage and dance around and have some fun. So we're bringing the energy again. We got a new set list, and we're actually hitting a lot of cities that I feel like we've unintentionally neglected a little bit, people that have been waiting patiently. So it's going to be fun. Really looking forward to it. And I love what I do. So I'm just excited to get back to work.
Well, Brett, thank you so much for taking the time today, and congratulations on your 2.0 tour. I know fans are super excited about it. Y'all be sure to go catch Brett Young at the Ryman this Thursday, January 22nd. Thank you all for tuning in to Talk Y'all to Me. I'm Tori Kruse, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Tori.
Thanks for tuning in to Talk Y'all to Me. If this episode encouraged you or reminded you of your calling, share it with someone who needs that same reminder today. Hit the follow button to subscribe so you don't miss what's next, and come hang out with me on social at official Tori Kruse. Keep shining, stay faithful, and keep talking, y'all.